The worst part is when you get like an idea of a song and it gets stuck in your head for 40 minutes underwater and like
Yeah.
in like a stressful situation where you have to like watch people and like make sure they don't die and stuff. And then by the time you get out, you're like, I'm sick of this. Like,
Someone's panicking and you're just underwater, just
yeah.
vibing out. Hello, you beautiful music creatives. My name is Mac Boris, the founder of Musician Guidance, and it is my privilege to officially welcome you all to the Musician Guidance podcast. Today, we are beyond lucky to have the amazing band Six Ways to Saturday join us. They currently have their track Fantasy out with new music coming very soon. Without further ado, it is my absolute honor to welcome Phill, Morgan, and Tyler to the podcast. How are you legends doing today?
Hey, doing great. Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I'm definitely excited for this, guys, because I'm a big fan of fantasy. I just want to let you know, if you go on your Spotify for artists and you can see where all your streams are from, if you see those streams from Winnipeg, just know that's this guy right here, listening in my onesie, jamming out on my air guitar. I love the vibe of it. So
Thank you so much. Cool.
absolutely. Absolutely. In all seriousness, though, to kick this episode off, I feel like the origin story of every band coming together is pretty unique, whether it's like a 3 a.m. drunk text or something a little more structured. How did Six Ways to Saturday kind of come together as a
You
band?
know, it's funny you say
Really
that. Yeah.
Was
It is
it?
it is a 10-year history
So
though
like
too.
we
Yeah.
started off in another band. It was about 9, 10 years ago. Time isn't real, but we were in college, and
Okay.
I met people through a Facebook group, and I really just reached out for artists. I was like, hey guys, like, does anyone like pop punk? Like, let's get a band together. And then one of our other friends brought in Tyler, and then that kind of just sort of fizzled out. And it's really fun you say a drunk text, because I actually sent them a drunk text probably at 2 a.m.
Okay.
May of this year, last year. And I was like, hey guys, let's do this again. And here we are, a couple months later.
Mm-hmm. The drive from me being on Squid Game 2 was like a big like, hey, you know, it's
Yeah.
now or never. Like we either
Sure.
capitalize on it or we don't. And
Yeah.
so over the summer we've been, you know, really getting together and we're working on some new music and stuff, which we haven't done in like 10 years, which is like really exciting to do. So
We all kind of did our own thing for a while.
Right.
And then just we found our way back together.
I love it.
Oh, that's so cheesy.
No, I love it. And you'd be surprised how many good ideas come from that 2 a.m. drunk text, right? It seems to always turn out into something good.
Yeah.
And now with fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about the name too. Six Ways to Saturday, because that is a name that I friggin' love, especially on those, early Monday mornings when I have about 5 alarms set and I hit snooze on each of them 15 times. So tell me, how did Six Ways to Saturday get its name?
Well, there is like the old. So first of all, we wanted to have something that was like cool and like pop
Sure.
punk. We had like we had a bunch of really cringy ideas, and this one was
Yeah.
kind of the cringy. But basically, it comes from a like an American saying that like, you know, 7 ways from Sunday, like 7 ways to Sunday, like we will like do this. So it basically means like by all means, no matter what, like we will get this done. And so we just like adjusted for like a more realistic approach. You know, 6 ways to Saturday. Like, well, you know, we'll do our best. You know, we'll probably get there. But you know, a little realistic about it. And it sounds a little more pop punk, like Saturday, because you know Saturday is like really big, you know, a day that everybody has fun, and it's like the best day of the week, like super cool, super good vibes. So that's kind of what we want to be. Is we want to bring like fun and love and joy and like, you know, just got good banging music to people that, you know, they want to listen to on a Saturday night.
Absolutely. And that comes across so well, not only in fantasy, but on your guys' socials as well. Like the energy you bring, infectious. I love it. I absolutely love it. And also behind the name of the band, right, there's the music of it, which is such a personal thing. And beyond the music itself, it's the story of each and every one of you that is ultimately what connects with fans. I'd love to just kind of go like we're in kindergarten here, just kind of go around in a circle and kind of share how each of you got into music. I know it sounded like it's been, about a decade, but what first kind of got you into it? And Tyler, we can start with yourself here.
With me? All right, nice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna date myself. So
Okay.
instead of And all right, so we have all Spotify, Apple Music now, but when I first really truly got into music, I went on to On Demand, go to Music Choice. That's where I got all my music. American Idiot just came out. It was 2004. And
Okay.
I was like, him, I want to be him. And then that was it. And then here I am. I just became so obsessed. I did music before that. I played the violin. That was my first instrument. So I guess
Oh,
I
right on.
just strings, graduated.
Yeah.
I guess in a way.
Cool.
Yeah. Put on eyeliner afterwards, I was trying to mimic that. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like my sister. I was like, Nicole, like, put eyeliner on me. Got the red tie. I was like, I'm an American idiot. Had no idea what it meant at the time.
I love it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome. Morgan, how about yourself?
So my story is like kind of similar. So my brother got me into Linkin Park and Blink-182, and they were both big influences. But then one day someone showed me American Idiot, and that literally like changed the trajectory of my life. Like I literally am who I am today because that album got put out, which really like sounds insane looking back on it. But I guess I started off playing guitar when I was 12, which
Okay.
I don't know how old American Idiot came out. I don't even know.
That was fourth grade for me. So.
Yeah. So I guess whatever the math
Too much
is.
math.
Ten,
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't do math here.
No,
No.
thank you. Started off with guitar. Been playing guitar since I was 12. I'm nowhere near as good as Tyler. He fucking shreds. But yeah, and then I started singing when I was 15.
Okay.
I think honestly what did it for me was I heard like Riot came out, which is a lot of people's story, and I was like, oh wait, what if I just start singing now? And here I am. Just recently picked up bass because we are in need of a bassist. Filled the spot. But yeah, that's kind of what led me here today.
Right on. I love it. And Phill?
For me, it all started when I was 12, and my cooler older buddy Connor showed me the music video for What's My Age Again because it was funny because they were running around naked, and I was like, oh, haha, yeah, this is funny. But then I started listening to the songs, and I was like, wait, this is actually really good. I started watching all like the Blink-182 music videos and like a bunch of other ones, and I was like, oh wow, like this is really good. And then I started listening to like Green Day, like American Idiot, stuff like that, and that's sort of what kicked it off. And then after that, that kind of inspired me to like start learning guitar, start singing too, and I discovered like I really love singing, and I love like performing. I went on to audition and got the lead antagonist role in my 8th grade musical, Michael.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Cool bad kid. But just like and that's kind of where I fell in love with like performing and loving being on stage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And high school, I really got into a lot more bands. Like Angels and Airwaves was a huge one for me. Like they really kind of helped me develop like my own personal like philosophies and stuff. Just like being kind and doing what I want to do and having fun and sort of just being out there to the point where I like really wanted to start like playing music like live. Like that's what I really wanted to do. And so actually my first performance was actually this band over here, Classy Hat Club, with our.
I noticed that earlier.
Yeah, that was like we were a one show wonder. We played at like one show at my high school, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun, and I knew that I wanted to do it again. So when I got to college, I was looking around for people that wanted to be in bands or whatever, and then Morgan hit me up, and I was like, oh, yeah, like let's do it, and that's sort of where it went from there.
I love to hear it. I literally love the story so much because like as a fan here, I go on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. I hear the song, great. I see you guys on socials, great. But also just knowing like kind of how it all started is my personal favorite part because that's so unique to everyone, and it shows like now I know kind of the inspiration behind how you guys, the inspiration behind what you're doing now, which is so cool. And then so in terms of roles in the band too, are you guys I know the roles from the creative side. In terms of the business side too, is this something where it's a 3-person show right now? Do you have a manager? Are you having to navigate that side yourselves? How's that
So
looking?
we don't have a manager yet. However, if there is anyone out there that is interested working with us,
You might get a lot of emails.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's tough because we all kind of have like full-time like things going on right now. Like Tyler is like a full-time nurse, and Morgan's a full-time law student. I'm a full-time person who lives in their parents' basement, making TikToks and stuff. So it's tough to that's kind of been one of our biggest like setbacks is wanting to do it, but just like having to deal with like the realism of like capitalism and having to like work super hard, make money, and all that kind of stuff. But we're definitely doing our best to try to divide the work. Morgan's been doing a really good job on her social media stuff. Like she's been really like cranking
That's
that
fantastic.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's been really awesome. But yeah, we're trying to make it equal. Like we're trying to, spread it out as much as we can because we're the three of us are kind of spread very thin at the moment. But we're hoping that, as this kicks off, which it has been kicking off a lot, like a lot more than we ever thought it would. So we're hoping to just kind of ride this wave as long as it takes, and then hopefully one day we'll be able to quit our jobs.
Don't go to law school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Look at the fireworks here. That was perfect timing. How did that happen?
The
Hey.
universe is with us today.
No, literally.
Here's my 2 weeks right here.
The universe is aligning. I love it. I mentioned this earlier, and even just there, the vibe and the energy you guys have is amazing. I come across and I work with a lot of musicians that are both from starting out to multi-Grammy winners, and literally only a handful have the energy that you guys have, which I friggin' love that, because this is a business where you need that passion. It is going to beat you down, and I love that you guys have it. And it's very clear that energy is very representative in fantasy as well, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to it, I promise you, if you listen to it just once, you're guaranteed to listen to it another 5 times because of how infectious it is. And with that, tell me about the inspiration behind fantasy. Why was fantasy the right track to kind of kickstart this new band?
Yeah, so I brought the idea to the guys. I honestly I feel like the best songs or my favorite songs, I always hear artists say, "Oh, it just came to me. It just came to me one day."
Sure.
The chorus to Fantasy really did just come to me one day. I was just like writing songs in my bed and it just clicked. I guess like the inspiration behind it, it's just like about a breakup that I went through essentially,
Okay.
which is always great songwriting material. But yeah, so I brought it to the guys and we had a few other things working at the moment and that one just clicked with us. I don't know if any of you also.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, it just clicked. It just made sense for the time because we wanted our sound to be like not too pop punk, but not too heavy. So we're right in the middle. And we really felt like that track really spoke that to us.
It was cool to like hearing that for the first time. We were like, oh, like this music is, because at that point we were like, oh, let's get back together, let's write some music, but we didn't know like what direction it was going to go, and we didn't know how it was going to go. But when we heard that, we were like, oh, all right, like this music is actually going to be really good.
Still got it.
You guys still got it.
Still got it.
Still sharp.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Morgan, are you kind of the songwriter of the group? Is that, or is it all collaborative, or how does that kind of dynamic look?
Yeah, it's definitely collaborative.
Yeah.
I brought like the beginnings of fantasy, and then Tyler wrote the instrumental track, and we all get together and we're like, all right, how can we make this like 10 times better? We'll be sitting here sometimes like trying to think of better lyrics as a group.
Sure.
Us three and rhymezone.com friends together. Yeah, it's definitely it's a collaborative process. We really want everyone's input because we all listen to like the same umbrella of music, but we all like different needs in that umbrella. So getting all of those different viewpoints, I think, really helps build out like a more intricate sound.
Absolutely. Yeah, embracing everyone's uniqueness too in it. I think that's very cool. And on your socials too, you've hinted that more music is coming, and I'm gonna look away from you, Phill, when I ask this question, because you've made it quite clear on Squid Game that you don't have a plan. So when I ask this next question about what's upcoming and about plans, I'm gonna ask this towards Morgan and Tyler.
So
but yeah, as a fan, eagerly awaiting more, what can I expect from 6 Ways to Saturday in the year ahead?
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. Thank you. So we have a few more songs that are getting mastered sort of like as we speak, so they're pretty much finished. And those should be released in the next few weeks. We won't say when yet, but it'll be
It's because we still haven't figured it out.
No, everything is all perfect. It's all planned. But yeah, so we have 2 more songs that are done as pretty much as we speak, and then we're gonna get back into the studio and record the final 2 or 3 depending on what we land on, and then that together will flesh out to be in our first EP as 6 Ways to Saturday.
Woo! So such an exciting time.
In the next few months, the EP should be done and released. We're really excited about that.
Absolutely. I'm excited to hear it. Are you guys planning a tour as well, or am I stepping on toes by putting that out there?
I mean, look, that would be like the best case scenario.
Sure.
We would love to do that. I think that we would probably be playing some more like local shows.
Yep.
We did a bunch of shows in Jersey and New York, and we did some Pennsylvania shows too as our
Yeah.
old band.
Mhm.
So probably end up, doing that, trying to get into the locals or back into the local scene rather.
Yeah.
And I would do a tour. That would be literally like your mouth to God's ears, best case scenario. Yeah.
Well, if
Everything-
you, sorry,
No, I was just gonna say if everything goes well.
I'm sure it will. And if that tour comes and Winnipeg is not on it, I'm going to be a little disappointed, just so you know.
Something just for you.
Yeah, it'll be the
Yeah,
first stop.
Just for, oh, guys, I appreciate it. I'll bring some maple syrup. That's my Canadian gift that I'll give to you.
Awesome.
Say less.
Yeah, we've actually been really blessed. I mean, we've been checking out like our Spotify stats and all that kind of stuff, and like we were honestly surprised at how like global our music is already. Like we have like a
Yeah.
ton of fans like in the U.S. obviously, but we
Sure.
also have a lot of people in Canada, a lot of people in Mexico. Brazil is also a huge demographic for us.
Mhm.
That was just Poland.
Poland, shout out
Yeah.
to the Polacks.
Yo.
Yeah.
Which it's really cool to see. You put out something and you're like, ooh, what if nobody likes it? Also, you should be putting out art for yourself and not technically worry about anyone else. But the reality of the business is like people have to like it.
Somebody's gotta like
Someone's
it.
gotta like it. So it's really cool seeing like the demographics across the globe is like really wild. Someone DM'd us from South Africa. I was like, what? It made it out of like New Jersey. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's global, guys. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And you're so true about like this is a business at the end of the day. Like as much as it's important to make music that reflects you, as you touched on there, it is a business. And what I always like to say is create with your heart, sell with your head. And
That's a good
but
one.
yeah. there's my pearls of wisdom for the podcast for you. It's about all I
Yeah.
can say.
And love with your
Heart. You're
heart.
Heart.
No,
Don't
no,
look at the
heart.
sample,
I was gonna say heart. I was gonna say heart.
Heart. I heard heart. And so with the new music you're working on, and maybe a tour coming if everything goes to plan that we know Phill doesn't have that plan yet, but I'm just teasing you, Phill.
And I never will.
It worked though. But is there what's the central message behind this that you want your fans to be able to take away from your music? Not just fantasy, but what's upcoming too.
Well, like us, like creating this music is kind of a way of us like sharing our art and sharing our experiences and sharing our love like with the world. And we're beyond excited that, so many people have been able to connect with our song, even just like the one song, and they haven't even heard like the rest of the stuff yet. So the fact that like we've been able to connect with so many people already and really like inspire them and stuff, like that's kind of the biggest thing is like we want to, I don't know, like for me personally, like I want to share like my love with the world. Like I want to make beautiful art and make art that people can fall in love with and be passionate about and also like enjoy just as much as we do. And I want to like bring, like when I'm on stage, like I want to bring love like to the world. Like I want everybody to have as much fun as I have when I see my favorite bands, and I'm moshing around in the pit and having fun and all that kind of stuff. Like I want to bring that fun and that love.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to piggyback off of that, also for me, like it's like kind of almost like I want the music to serve almost like as like a therapy session, kind of like it's your blanket, music saved my life. So I want that same kind of feeling to kind of just, spread out, and have other people kind of feel that way too. With art being as subjective as it is, with, whether some
Sure.
people like it, others don't, at the end of the day, I just want you to, with all the problems you have going on in your own world, I want, it's just saying like, everything's going to be okay. We're here for you, kind of thing. Like our music is always here, even if we can't be directly, kind of thing,
I love that. Yeah, music is so powerful. Like
Mhm.
it helped me personally. I know it's helped many others. So I love that message behind it. That's fantastic. What do you say we take a break from the longer questions and we do some fun quick fire questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I
Yes.
got 12 here. So I'll say your name and then I'll say the question. So
Cool.
it's gonna be about 4 each. Just first thing that comes to mind. You might surprise yourself with some answers here. So
Oh,
they're not crazy though. They're
I was gonna say what rating are we using for this podcast? Like, is it R?
no, you'll know once I ask the first one that they're PG rated, Phil. No.
Okay. I can work with that. I can work with that.
Shrek.
Yeah, okay. Fantasy cartoon.
Shrek. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Morgan, vinyl or digital music?
oof. Hot topic. I'm gonna say digital.
Okay.
I quit.
Honestly, I was gonna ask you guys for if you put out vinyl, I was gonna be your first customer for it, but if you're a digital
No, it's
fan,
all
I don't know now. No,
I just think one is more accessible than the other, and I think that's
That's fair.
I'm just teasing. That's very true. Tyler, the first concert you ever attended?
Blink-182.
Oh,
And 13, I was a late bloomer.
Yeah, wow.
okay,
Yeah.
wow. Phil, your favorite drink in the studio?
My favorite drink in the studio. I'm a pretty strict water guy, I gotta say. Not a beverage guy. Very much.
Stay hydrated.
I stay hydrated. Maybe I'll do like a little Moroccan mint tea if I'm feeling like extra spicy. But
Oh, okay. I like it.
aside from the several Red Bulls too, because
Oh,
of
yeah.
a couple of times in the studio we've had to fly in from different places and then be up all day recording. So
Okay. I know a few artists that are trying to get sponsored from Red Bull because of what you just said.
Oh yeah.
It is the drink of choice in the studio for a lot of people. Absolutely. Tyler, what's your favorite instrument?
I guess without saying guitar, I'm gonna say violin, my first instrument. That was very fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Morgan, your go-to karaoke song.
Oh, that's good. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Good one. Phil, what's an instrument you wish you could play but you haven't learned yet?
I have always wanted to learn how to play the kalimba.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
Unexpected.
cute. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, kalimba. Oh, actually, I have one. Where am I? I just have one.
Let's see this.
Not what I expected.
I've always wanted one, and I always talk about wanting one, and my partner finally got me one for Christmas after years of like planting the seed in their mind. And it's so cute. This is what it looks like. And it's what they use to do the theme in Avatar. It's like, you know?
Let's hear some. Let's hear some.
Wait. Oh my God. Yeah, isn't it cute?
Okay.
I hate to rain on your parade there. I didn't hear anything. I'm wondering if
Oh,
it was,
no!
I saw by everyone's reaction and it sounded good, and I'm like, oh no, it's not.
Can you
being
just
picked up.
like, get an audio clip off of like YouTube of someone playing this?
Yeah, just like the Avatar like finale, like little kalimba theme.
Someone, like,
That's
shredding.
that's
on
it.
the
Yeah.
web.
I got you. But by the looks of your faces there too, I'll take your word that it was played very well.
Beautiful instrument. This is what I
Yeah,
would
that's
say.
so cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And by the looks of your faces, it seems like you have learned to play it already.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
I mean, I was playing with it all night. I mean, it's just like the
Okay.
one song.
Okay.
Sure was that?
What?
Right
You
on.
sure?
Yeah. I was playing with something else. Yeah. No.
Tyler, what is your dream collaboration? They can be living or dead.
Like with say like music wise?
Music wise, yeah.
Ooh. Oh my God, that is tough.
We ask the tough questions here.
I kind of want to bring it back. I kind of want to learn from one of the archetypes, Chuck
Mhm.
Berry.
Right
See if
on.
I can learn something from, the guy that started it,
Yeah.
or one of, I should,
Yeah.
however you look at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Morgan, what is your dream music venue to perform in?
Oof. Oh my God, every single one of them. Is that an answer?
You
Um,
better say one in Winnipeg.
yeah, you gotta give me one.
That is
it. You know what my dream would be? Because I gotta bring it back home. Would be like MSG. To me, like when you play MSG, like that's when like you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So literally every venue ever is where I want to play.
I'm sure those will you guys will be performing very soon. I'm pretty confident of it. Phill, one word to describe the band's sound.
Like slay. Slayful. Like it's just like it's sexy. Like it's good
Yeah.
music. Like
Yeah. No, 100%. I think you hit the nail on the head with that word.
That was the right answer.
You hear it and you're like, that's so sexy.
Yeah.
Morgan, morning or night for musical inspiration?
Definitely night.
Are you 3 night owls there?
For sure.
I switched ever since I switched careers to the medical field. I just can't stay up late anymore.
Okay.
So I feel a lot of mine comes from like if I'm bored or if I'm like in the shower, you know, like some people in the car.
Yeah.
I get ideas wherever I can't write it down or else I'll crash or
Yeah.
die in some way, you know.
See,
So
I
it's
always
like-
write in the car. I just go like, disclaimer, this is all a lie. I just open up my phone with like my face and then just press the microphone button.
Oh.
So you're texting while driving?
No,
No,
it's
No,
not.
it was a lie. I heard that, Morgan. I got you.
911.
Well, I know this is quickfire, but Phill, what about yourself? Like when you're scuba diving and you're like 40 meters underwater, do you just have like an
Yeah, no.
idea?
It's happened before where I'm like down in the depths and I'm like, oh my God, like I have an idea for a song. But what I do is I carry a little slate with me. And I can write on it. It's the same one that I use in the shower too, like whenever I have an idea because it can get wet and I'll write
Oh,
something down.
actually.
The worst part is when you get like an idea of a song and it gets stuck in your head for 40 minutes underwater.
Yeah.
And like in like a stressful situation where you have to like watch people and like make sure they don't die and stuff. And then by the time you get out, you're like, I'm sick of this. Like
Someone's panicking and you're just underwater, just vibing out.
You're like spinning around a dolphin.
Yeah. I have a tank clanker too, like a stick that I use to like tap my tank to get the attention of students. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, like this rhythm, like, and I'm like, all right.
There's times where it'll come to me in a dream, and in my dream, I'm even like, this is fire. And then I wake up and I'm like, what was that again?
No.
You forget it, right?
No, it fades just as you regain consciousness. And I'm like,
Mhm.
That's the worst.
um,
Yeah.
I feel for you on that one.
Mhm.
Tyler, what is one piece of music gear that you cannot live without?
music gear.
Yes,
Mm. He's got it all.
Yeah.
you got it all.
He's got it all.
I mean, I guess the guitar itself, because what's
Definitely.
useful with, I guess, an amp and pedals if, you know, can't
Yeah.
They make
I can
dubstep.
plug it into my butt, but like, you know, there's nowhere else. Yeah, dubstep actually.
Here, they do midis.
I have to say the guitar, I guess, because I'm
Yeah.
nothing without it.
Definitely. Yep. And last one here, and this is for Phill. Rock, paper, or scissors?
Oh, no!
I'm sorry, Phill. I'm sorry. I don't know how that question snuck in here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
PTSD.
I'm rock, obviously, am I right? Like, you know, like,
That was the right answer. That was the right answer.
also the one that I lost on, but that's okay. I don't.
Oh,
I
man.
only think about it every single day of my life. But it's fine.
I'm
it's fine.
sorry. I don't know how that squeaked in here. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
With that, though, guys, congratulations. You have just completed the quick fire round. Feel free to give yourself a pat on the back.
Nice.
I
gonna
love
text
doing
my-
it. You text your mom. Text your mom. Give a shout out to your mom right now. No, I love doing the quick fire round because the answers are sometimes so funny. We had one guest on here who he is a, renowned producer, songwriter, A&R. He's behind 10 billion streams online. And I remember asking him, what song are you listening to right now on repeat? And he just had a newborn. So his answer was Wheels on the Bus. Like the wheels on the bus go. And he's like, why did I just say that? But yeah, so I appreciate you guys doing the quick fire round there. And with that, I'm going to get into a few questions that are about providing guidance, as that again is what our whole brand is about. And one of the issues in the music business is figuring out, what services and what information is valuable and what is just a scam or useless, because there is so much noise out there. And I'm sure you guys are being bombarded with, opportunities, services, deals, all the time, many of which are, people trying to take advantage of you. So how are you able to decipher between beneficial services and maybe like producers and stuff like that, and people truly wanting to help, and those simply trying to take advantage and make a buck off you? And then do you have advice for new artists and bands that are kind of in a similar place? And we can even tie this back to, I know you mentioned that you're open to a manager right now. How are you navigating this difficult side of the business?
I think one of the most important things when you either see like an ad for something or somebody reaches out, if it looks like a get rich quick scheme or a get famous quick scheme, one of the two,
Yeah.
like that immediate red flag.
Yeah.
I think like doing a lot of research into who's reaching out to you is really
Sure.
important. Like we've had some producers reach out to us. We've had, other creatives reach out to us, but if anything looks like it's too easy, it's probably a red flag. Because this industry is all about like how many no's can you get to before you get a yes. So there's no, I mean, unless you're like, I don't know, like a Nepo baby, which we're not, but there's no like quick ladder up to, where you're trying to get to go.
Having a lawyer in the band also helps.
Absolutely. What type of law are you practicing? Or you're in school, I think you mentioned?
Yeah, I'm in my second year of the most fun time I've ever had. I'm trying to.
I sense some sarcasm there, Morgan.
So much fun. I'm on break right now, but yeah. So I came from the music industry, and I was trying to go to law school to go back to the music industry. So I'm hoping this happens before that, because like, who wants to be a lawyer, man? Not me. But here I am.
I mean, it's going to help you though.
Oh,
Absolutely. I mean, some of those contracts, like that people sign without getting legal advice, and they sign away their rights. They don't have a way to terminate it or anything. So you mentioned that it's not maybe the most fun right now, but watch that be one of the biggest factors into the band's success in the future of not getting screwed in a contract and also getting a beneficial one. So
yeah,
yeah,
for sure. A lot of like any similar industry, there's a lot of predatory like people,
sure. Yeah.
a lot of predatory contracts. So it definitely it'll definitely help us one day, hopefully soon. But
Yeah, hopefully soon. I like it. Yeah, absolutely. I want to touch on something too, and we've talked about this a bit throughout it, but what I think is so cool about your band is how each of you have unique and differing passions. I didn't know, for example, that Tyler, you are in nursing, and Morgan, that you're studying law. What I did know is Phill, scuba diver. Morgan, I saw on your Instagram that it looked like you did some horse riding. I'm not sure if you're keeping up with that. That looked at a couple years
no,
ago.
I am a horse girl. Yeah.
Right on.
I'll admit to it. Proud of it.
I do some stalking for these, just so you know, and I'm sure you can tell.
It's your job.
Yeah. And then Tyler, comic book collector and photographer, astrophotographer.
Yeah, over COVID, I kind of was like, how can I utilize my time? And I just learned astrophotography, and that was definitely a time sink. But it's rewarding for sure. The stuff, yeah, it's when I don't value my bank account. I'm like, I don't mind looking at stuff when it's not stuff.
Hey, money is useless until it's spent, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
Oh, yeah.
I spent all
That's a good
it.
point.
All right, yeah.
What I wanted to get onto is how you guys have all these, like, outside of music, you got different passions, and all of that, yet you seem very focused on the band too. You seem to be doing whatever it takes. There are a lot of people out there that want to start a band, but feel that they can't because of previous time commitments. I know you guys, you mentioned there, Phill, you mentioned you're already spread pretty thin. You're making it work though. What advice has worked for you, and what would you give to others to kind of have that discipline and put that discipline in place to make it work? Because it does take wearing 20 hats, right? A marketer, a songwriter, and all of that. So what would you recommend?
I mean, it definitely takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of like hard work and a lot of time. But for me specifically, the thing that makes it the most like worth it and the easiest like to handle is honestly just like the fun that we have with it. Because like aside from just like, making really cool music and doing stuff that we're passionate about, like like if we didn't have a band, we'd still be like three idiots who love hanging out and just like our friends, you know. And I think that that's really what makes it so much easier, because you know, after a long day of work, after a long day of whatever, it's like, oh, like I have band practice or whatever. But then you think like, oh, it's not just band practice. Like I also get to like see these people that I love and cherish so much, and I know that at the very least we'll get some good laughs, you know, and get to like hang out and stuff, even if we're not productive. So that's like for me, that's like the biggest thing. And so make sure that like the group that make sure the people you're working with are not just business partners, but also like your friends and people that you really care about, that you enjoy spending time with, because realistically you're going to end up spending a lot of time together. And then if it does blow up, like they are going to be, you know, business partners or something like that. And so it's got to be people that you can trust to do the right thing, you know, people that you can trust to like, you know, just have fun with. And I think that fun is like the biggest thing that brings people back and makes people keep wanting to work together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a big mental thing too. Like, at least for me, I feel like everyone always says it. They're always like, you just got to do it. And like for me, I'm like, Yoda, dude, there is no try.
Yeah.
And like coming from me, like I self-deprecate hardcore, and I feel like as artists, you're like always your own worst critic. And it's kind of like you just have to literally do it. Like if you have an idea, write it. If you hate it, someone else might love it. And like that's just the hardest pill to swallow that I'm still choking on personally, you know. But it's like you literally just have to just see what like you're capable of, you know. Even like it's just literally do it. Like
Yeah.
I think too, also like slightly less inspirational in these two, but like if you can, I'm a very strong believer, you can always make the time. I'm sure there's extenuating circumstances, of course, but like you can always make the time. And you can like we will do like a bunch of content shooting in like one day, and then we can get the most out of the time that we have. So you just gotta be really clever with your time. You might not sleep that much, but also like whatever, you can sleep in your bed, I guess. I don't know.
That's a rock and roll lifestyle. No sleep, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's why Red Bulls are a thing.
That's true.
Sponsor us.
Let's make it happen. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure chatting. I really appreciate you all for sharing your story and guidance with our community. There is one final thing I want to say before we wrap up this episode, and that is, I'm not sure if you guys are working on any sync deals, but we all know Squid Game The Challenge Season 2 will be coming in the near future. And I'm just saying, Netflix, I'm just saying, it would be rude. It would be rude if 6 Ways to Saturday didn't get a placement in it. So I think we start a petition. I think we ask Netflix right now, Netflix, how many signatures do we need on the petition to make it happen? And then we'll get this going and we'll make it happen for 6 Ways to Saturday. With that, though, that is going to bring us to the end of the episode. Is there anything else you would like to share, or any questions you were hoping I was going to ask and didn't get the chance to?
I think just keep watching out. We got some bangers coming through, and we're excited for everyone to hear it, because you know it's fun having one song out, but we gotta keep pushing.
Can only milk the cow.
Yeah, really 100%.
Yeah. I mean, we're just like really excited to be able to finally work on this, and for us, like it really feels like it's a manifestation of us working on something, like finally after all this time, after so many jobs, after so many like career paths, like we're finally working on something that we're like really passionate about, and that like is going really well and does have like a solid future ahead. And so that's just the thing that we're most excited about, is, you know, finally being able to put aside everything else and just work on this one thing that we knew that we were born to do.
I love it. You found your calling. It sounds like you're all very passionate about it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the new music. I can't wait to follow you on your journey. I'm going to have all of your links below. So if you're listening and you want to get in touch with Phill, Morgan, Tyler, and 6 Ways to Saturday, you can absolutely do so. In the meantime, though, that is going to conclude this episode. Until next time, I've been Mac, they've been 6 Ways to Saturday, and you've been amazing. Take care and keep making music.